What if the best coach in the world wasn't a person at all? Imagine a coach who never sleeps, who can process a million data points in a split second, and who can simulate your absolute perfect performance before you even step onto the field. Well, this isn't science fiction anymore. Today, we're diving into the rise of the invisible coach. These are AI systems that are completely shattering the limits of human athletic achievement. So let's just jump right in with this pretty mind-bending question from AI researchers David Ha and Jürgen Schmidhuber. Can agents learn inside of their own dreams? Now, that single question, it really gets to the heart of a revolution in training. It's about AI shifting from a tool that just analyzes the world to one that can actually create entirely new worlds to learn from. To really get how this is possible, we need to start with the core idea, an AI that dreams. And what we're talking about is something called a world model. What's so amazing here is that a world model kind of mirrors our own brains. It's an AI that builds its own little internal, compressed simulation of reality. You know how your brain has an internal model that lets you predict where a ball is going to land? It's like that. This AI learns the rules of its environment so well that it can run simulations of the future entirely inside its own head. And this right here shows you the fundamental shift. See, traditional AI learns from a huge pile of data about things that have already happened. It's reactive. But a world model, it's generative. It actually creates its own data by constantly simulating what could happen. So it's not just learning from the past, it's actively practicing for the future in a virtual space. Okay, so how does this super abstract idea of an AI that dreams actually help an elite athlete? Well, it all starts by creating a hyper-personalized training partner, a digital twin. And let's be clear, this isn't some far-off idea. It is happening right now. We're seeing the rise of what's called agentic AI. Basically, AI systems that don't just analyze, they proactively do things to achieve goals. In fitness coaching, they're used to create what are essentially digital replicas of athletes, building a complete model of that person's biology and performance to make a true one-to-one virtual copy. So the key is how this actually works. It's a constant, real-time feedback loop. The AI gets live data from sensors on an athlete, it crunches that data against its internal model, the digital twin, and then, boom, it gives immediate, actionable coaching advice. I mean, think about it. It's like a coach who can see your muscle fatigue at a microscopic level and tell you to adjust your form in that exact moment. But here's the thing. Real-time feedback? That's just the warm-up. The real power of this technology, the true game changer, happens when we move beyond just analyzing the real world and step completely into the virtual one. Because the ultimate goal here, the really mind-blowing idea, isn't just about getting better feedback on what you're doing in the real world. It's to replace the real world entirely, at least for training. To practice, to compete, to master a skill without ever leaving the simulation. And this is pulled straight from the research. The goal is to train an agent, or in this case an athlete, entirely inside its own dream environment and then transfer that perfected skill set back into reality. Just imagine, you could run 1,000 races inside the simulation to figure out the absolute perfect strategy before you ever even step foot on the actual track. But wait, how do you stop the agent from just, cheating inside its own perfect little dream world? Researchers use this fascinating dial called temperature. Think of it as a chaos knob. By turning up the temperature, you inject randomness and uncertainty into the simulation. This forces the agent to learn skills that are robust, skills that'll work not just in a perfect simulation, but in the messy, unpredictable real world. So all of this incredible power, it obviously leads to some really tough questions. If you can simulate perfection, what does that actually mean for the spirit of competition? We are now entering an algorithmic arms race. I mean, is it fair? When one athlete has access to a billion-dollar AI coach that can run millions of simulations and another one doesn't, is that still a true test of human ability? This is basically a new kind of techno-doping, where the advantage isn't chemical, it's computational. And you can bet governments are paying very close attention. This list of safety-critical AI functions from a White House memo really shows how seriously they're taking any AI that interacts with the physical world. And while an AI coach isn't a weapon, it absolutely deals with controlling physical movement and performance. That puts it squarely in the category of high-stakes AI that needs some kind of governance. This has kicked off a huge global debate on how to regulate all this. In the UK, you've got lawmakers demanding legally binding rules, calling this stuff an existential risk. But then in the US, the approach has traditionally been more light touch or hands off. It just goes to show you, there's absolutely no global agreement yet on how to manage this incredible power. Which, of course, brings us to the final and most important question. In a world of AI coaches and digital twins, what's the role of the human? Who is actually in control here? And I think this quote from the AI and Society Journal just nails it. The goal can't be to let the technology dictate the future of human achievement. It has to be the other way around. We have to make sure our values, our ideas of fair play, the human spirit, and hard work are the things that shape the algorithms. And you see this reflected in policy talks. The consensus that's building around high-stakes AI is that it always has to have meaningful human control and appropriate human judgment. The AI can give you all the data and run all the simulations in the world, but the final decision, the will to compete, and the responsibility for what happens, that has to stay human. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Does an AI coach that pushes us beyond our known limits actually enhance the human spirit by showing us what's truly possible? Or, in this relentless quest to optimize everything, do we risk removing the very magic, the struggle, the imperfection, the surprises that make sports and honestly all human achievement so amazing to begin with?